Hi guys, Don Rice here, and what we're looking at here is this is a vacuum bagged thing that I laid up last night and getting ready to unwrap it. Okay, so there's a group of us on rcscalebuilder.com who are all excited about building up some Vought V173 Flying Pancakes. And we'll release the suction there. And the scale of the planes puts them at about 1 to 6.5. And there are two motors, and the motor tubes, the nacelles, are supposed to be 3.1 inches in diameter by about 10 inches long. So yesterday I grabbed a 3-inch diameter cardboard tube that has some plans in it, and I laid up two layers of 3-ounce cloth, and on top of that went one layer of something like 12-ounce unidirectional carbon, and that went around this way, so it's radially aligned, and getting the carbon to adhere to this round form, not fun. So the next one I lay up, I'll have to do something a little bit different, because I'm not at all convinced that this is going to go well. And so on top of the carbon went two more layers of 3-ounce fiberglass. So that's a total of 4 layers of 3-ounce and 1 layer of 12-ounce carbon, for a total of 24 ounces of cloth. And then on top of that went a layer of peel ply, and on top of that went this batting material, which is used to soak up any extra resin. But during the process of, it's not easy to get layers of cloth and glue to wrap tightly around a tube. I'm sure there's a method, and I'll probably be looking on YouTube for such a method now, because it turned into such a pain in the ass last night. But I did the best I could while essentially under the gun. This is going to be the first reveal, and this could be interesting. So far, it's already fighting me a little more than I expected. Usually this batting material comes off pretty easily, but not this time. It's alright, we'll get it. We just gotta be patient. What happens is that what's under the batting material is a perforated layer of release plastic, and so the excess glue gets pressed and percolates up and through those those holes, and it's soaked up by this batting material, which is essentially used by quilters, or it's a polyester. Actually, this might be cotton. Maybe that's part of the problem. Anyway, it gets soaked up by this material, which essentially means it gets glued to each one of those little holes. You can see these things. It essentially becomes a rivet. It's glued to the batting material, down through the hole, and onto the substrates that are underneath this plastic material. And in this case, it seems to have glued a little more securely than I'm used to. I'm not really sure why, because there's not as much glue that has flowed through and into the batting material as I've had on other projects. So, I don't know. When I got done laying this up last night, I gave myself about a 10% chance of this tube being usable, just because it was so hard to get it to lay down around this round form without bunching up. And then when I sucked it down, it's hard to get the bagging material to really suck down nice and clean and smooth as well. So there were a number of ridges. Yeah, you can see these ridges here. That's probably going to make this unusable. All right, so underneath the release material is peel ply. Just like skinning a rabbit, only totally different. Got to find an edge. Can't find an edge. You make one. Everything is stuck together a whole lot more securely than I think I'm used to. I mean, even this peel ply, I'm not used to having it rip itself up like this. Usually it holds together, and which doesn't bode well for the ultimate goal, which is to get this whole get this tube to slide nice and easy off the end of the cardboard substrate. The downside to all of this is if it's not usable, that's going to represent about $30 of, $40 of wasted materials. But you don't know what you don't know until you try. Okay. Well, the plans are still in one piece. Okay, so having a little bit of trouble here, and so what I've done is I've chopped the ends of the tube off, and then simply placed some slices into the tube here, like so, because you know, the next option here is not to slide the carbon tube off of the cardboard tube, but to rip the cardboard tube out from the inside of the carbon tube. Easy. Oh, maybe easy wasn't the best choice of words, but you know, most of these cardboard tubes are made from long strips of paper that are wrapped kind of, you know, like a barbershop pole, and so I might be able to unwrap it that way. I definitely think you should hold your breath. Nah, go ahead, you can breathe. I can see how this is going to get really difficult when I get more than about 4 inches deep into this tube. Things are going to get considerably harder to handle. Okay. It's getting warmer. I figure if I come out of this and I'm not bleeding half to death by the end of it, then I will have been successful. Whether or not I actually get the tube off. thing is there is a membrane of released plastic that was wrapped around the cardboard tube before I started laying up. The layup is actually on top of that release plastic. Come on. So what that was is I'm slipping this between the carbon tube and the cardboard tube and then prying up, and I'm creating a slit down the middle of the cardboard tube. The problem is that all that has gotten me a slit that gets to about here, and I'm at the end of my screwdriver. I need a long okay, so I'm going to start on the other end now. Pry it up a little bit, and then I can move the screwdriver in just a little bit further, like that. Wiggle it fore and aft, pry up and down. Awesome. Some new tin snips I haven't tried before. Yeah. And you just gotta love when a plan comes together. Oh yeah. This is how the pros do it right here. Come on. Come on. Arr. I really want this one out of here. The inside, wow, the inside looks nice. You have to trust me on that. Alright. Let's see how much further we can go here. Alright. This could be a while. I'll come back and get you when I'm done. Okay. I'm not entirely sure how much time has passed, but it's at least a half an hour, maybe longer. That used to be the handle to the screwdriver that is currently in here. I've been pounding the screwdriver, big ass screwdriver, a little chisel, a big chisel, hammer, a persuader, torque amplifier, and driving the screwdriver down in between the carbon and the cardboard, and ultimately all the way through to the other side. And I've finally done that enough times where the cardboard has come loose and has moved its way down to this end of the tube. Still don't have it in my hands yet. Right now I'm beating on what's left of the handle on my big ass screwdriver. We're getting there. It's almost out. There we go. See? Huh? Piece of cake. Oh dear, that cracked me up. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We've got a tube. Looks like it's got a couple of scratches in there, and you might be able to see, looks like right about there, there's that's where I had used a little bit of Scotch tape to hold the release plastic in place, and I'm thinking that added to the trouble here. That isn't all the trouble, but couldn't have helped. Okay, so things that make this particular one unusable. We can see this ridge is not insignificant, and if it didn't carry through to the inside, I might consider just grinding that off and using it. But So let's see if we can get a look at this. You can just see right here, that is a valley where the carbon is basically everything squeezed together, and then it made a little peak right along here. But that means that on the inside, this is no longer a continuous loop of carbon. That is a little valley that is filled with resin instead of, oh, you know, like a nice continuous carbon strand. So that's no good. Let's see if we can see this. Same thing right here. That is a little river valley full of resin, and which has been raised up into this peak right here. Okay, so well, failure is always an option. So maybe I'll make a potato gun out of this. Oh wait, you know what? Let's see how heavy it is. Hold on. All right, let's see. Okay, that looks like about 245 grams, so call it, you know, roughly 9 ounces, 8 ounces. That's not bad. 8 ounces, and you know what? It's pretty friggin' strong. Let's try the other zoom. There we go. It is. I mean, I can deform it a little, but let's see. But it's also, you know, not completely hard yet. It won't be completely set for, I don't know, a couple more days. So that's it. Later.